In this video, we are continuing our epic photography trip through the autumn landscapes of Slovenia, where I take some of my favorite photos of the year. All right, so we have come to another holy site in Slovenia, another church. And this one here is another rather famous one also. I think the location is called Jamnik. The name of the church sounds something. Primus, Saint Primus. It's actually very simple. It's straight on, 70mm, and aperture priority as per always. So the shutter speed changes as the sun is coming up. The fog does change quite a lot. I'm happy that I came early because right now there's not a whole lot of fog. Cross our fingers that it won't go away completely because we've basically only arrived. But I have got some pretty decent photos already from this location. Looks spectacular. So compositionally, I have a little bit of a struggle with this foreground tree right here. And you can see if I move over here, then I can get this tree over here and then the foreground right there. Due to the fog, we can't really see any kind of like background. Would want that. So I'm just like time-lapsing this one and maybe put some photos together. However, just when we arrived, the light on the church was quite strong. Because it has become brighter now, the ambient light is equaling out the light on the church, and it looks so good with a lit church because it is such a strong focal point. Your eye just goes straight there, and then you can explore the photo afterwards. Beautiful. Right, so everything is just happening at once now. It's good that I have Malou, my sister, holding the camera, and Sam is photographing, I'm photographing, everything is happening here. I'm flying the drone at the same time, filming and vlogging and taking photos. But like we have the mountains down here where the fog is like falling down into. We have the church on the top here, like everything is just coming together at once. And now it starts raining too, so I have to take care of my gear. Yeah, so finding the balance between doing everything at once is hard. It is one of the things that many people often ask me when they meet me, is like, how do you manage to get everything done at once? And sometimes I'm very lucky to have someone to hold the camera for me. Other times I'll have to put up the camera myself. So right now, this camera is just doing interval shots. So it is working on its own. Then I can fly the drone. And then usually I have like a tripod set up where I can like film myself and talk to the camera if I need to use both hands, as I do when I'm flying the drone. But this here is magnifique. Hi guys, I'm just jumping in here to inform you that there's right now a huge $100 off discount on my big landscape photography editing course, Photoshop for Landscape Photographers. The coupon code and the link is down in the description of the video. This is all because of the Black Friday season that we're in right now. This is the biggest sale I ever give on my Photoshop landscape photographers course. Link is down in the description of the video, and I'll tell you a little bit more about it later in this video. But let's return to Slovenia for now. So rain is coming in again and again and again, and it's just like making sure everything is not getting destroyed. But oh, the fog just keeps lingering around. It's so beautiful out here in the background. Like also just like picking out scenes again in these mountainous areas with the fog among the trees and then the autumn colors. Like I have said a few times on my channel that I'm not a big fan of autumn colors because they don't have the calmness as the green forest colors do. But it is really hard not to get carried away when you're standing in a location like this and you just get like perfect conditions. Beautiful. Here are some more photos. As I also mentioned in my first video from Slovenia, I just love finding patterns and shapes in the interplay between the mountains and fog. And if you want to learn how I compose photos like that and the rest I show in this video, be sure to get my ebooks on composition in landscape photography. It's in these ebooks I cover how to turn your subjects, create a balanced photo, benefit from the visual flow, weather to your symmetry, and much more. There are links to both of them in the description of the video. So far this morning I had gotten some really great photos, but besides the first blue hour photo, they kinda suffered from being a bit flat. What was to come next just blew my mind. Although it did not look like it would happen, we were, for the very briefest of moments, super lucky to have the sun break through the clouds and light up the scene. So we have come to, and yes, you guessed it, another church. This one here I actually did not know about before coming to Slovenia. We have been driving around today photographing so many hilltops with churches on, but it is super beautiful. It is what Slovenia can, and that is what Slovenia offers. Beautiful, epic mountainscapes, and then those beautiful small churches on top. As I said, this one here I did not know about before coming here, so it is quite a nice surprise. So we have the church right there in the middle, and then we have the evening light coming in and hitting the hills here in front. Looks beautiful. So I'm as radical as I can be. I'm going for a central composition right here, church in the middle, and then I'm including the hills right here with the light. I've also taken a horizontal photo where I have offset the church a little bit. The thing is, there's a tiny church all the way out here in the background that I actually also really like and want to include. The only problem is that this church kind of like turns this way, and this church here in the background turns this way. So they turn away from each other, and I'm not sure I like that. However, it's so small in the frame that I don't really think it matters that much. We did indeed visit many different churches in Slovenia, far too many to make individual segments from in a YouTube video. Exploring the countryside and mountains gave us a good idea of the lay of the land, and it of course delivered some beautiful photos too, as you can see here. While driving around in this part of Slovenia, I joked with my sister that no matter where you were, you'd likely always be able to spot at least 2 churches at once. If you want to learn how I edit my photos, be sure to enroll in my huge editing course, Photoshop for Landscape Photographers, and remember to use the discount code in the description of the video to save some money. This is the course where I over more than 30 videos share my editing techniques and ideas. I teach you how to use the programs, teach you how to use masking, blend and edit with luminosity masks, focus stack in 3 different ways, use and add glow and atmosphere, clean your photos properly, and much more. If you're still in doubt whether it is something for you, I have a 15-day satisfactory guarantee, but you can also just read the quotes on the homepage. As mentioned, there is a link and a coupon code in the description of the video. Now, there is of course much more to Slovenia than churches on hilltops. One experience that really impressed me was the very touristy but also very worth visiting Postojna caves. If you have never seen caves like these before, do not hesitate to visit. They are absolutely epic and magical. And if you are in the area, definitely don't ignore the Scotchen caves either. Although they don't have as many dripstones, they are equally as impressive simply due to their massive size and rawness. A size that as always is impossible to capture on photos. However, walking through the Scotchen caves is like walking through the mines of Moria. So definitely, as a nature lover, do yourself the favor and visit both cave systems. So it is morning and I've arrived here at Lake Bled, the probably most famous photography location in all of Slovenia, and what a beautiful morning it is. Low fog around the church, on the island, in the lake, and we're photographing it here from the shore. There are so many photographers here. I don't know how many groups and how many individuals are here, but so many. And most people are photographing from the same obvious location, which I'm also going to do. There's nothing wrong with that. But I just wanted to walk along the lake shore here and get different angles to the church while it is still the blue hour. So as you can see here, we obviously have the fog. It's moving around all the time, having a little bit of fog on the lake. And this line exactly right here, that is what I really like, because you get that separation between us and the island and then the background, also because of the fog here. So I have a composition that is zoomed a little bit further in. Right now I'm just time-lapsing it, so I'm capturing it all while I talk to you guys. But yeah, straight on. Right now it's f10, ISO 100 gives me shutter speed of 2 seconds, which is of course going to change quite a lot as the sun will rise. But here is the first blue hour photo. So we've come a little bit back from the location where we were just at, and now we're just photographing out because the fog, it's so pulsating, which is phenomenal. It's like any other lake that I've ever photographed, but the fog just changes so much. So you always have to move around. And right now it looks like this, which is just so spectacular. We have so much fog here in the foreground, and it really carves out the island and the church. I'm not super happy about the sky up here, so I have zoomed it in a little bit, as you can see here. So I exclude the part of the sky up here. But this is also just a beautiful photo. So now the light is coming up and it is just lighting up the scene, lighting up the fog, lighting up the church tower and the buildings out here. It just looks unbelievably beautiful. Like, this is the fairy tale shot that you want here from Lake Bled. Beautiful, absolutely gorgeous. Settings wise, super simple. F13 ISO 100 gives me shutter speed of 1/80th of a second. I've also tried to get closer to the water with my main camera and photograph it close to the water, because we do have quite a decent amount of ripples by now, which, well, it is what it is. The boats have started running. I guess a little bit of wind is also here, and it's a big lake, so we can't really avoid that. But whoa, this is what you want when you come to Lake Bled in Slovenia. That's for sure. So due to the ripples, I also try with a long exposure. So I've just put on my 10-stop filter. It gives me a 20-second long exposure. I'm not entirely sure I completely like the effect, because it's not completely still water. You will get it a little bit like matte. I'll probably show it if I like it. If I don't, well, then you'll get some without a long exposure. But it is worth trying out a lot of different things when you're in a location and you're in doubt about how it's going to turn out. Although it is the most famous photography location in Slovenia, Lake Bled was indeed as magical as one could have hoped for, and there is plenty of space for everyone. However, there is one last location we also got to visit. So, saving the best for last, for sure. Look at this here in the background. Now, actually, Malou and I had just packed and were on our way back home to Denmark. Sam and Christine just wanted to come and check out a location just to see if we could actually get to it. And then he calls me while we are packing the car. Mads, you need to come now. It was only like 15 minutes away from our hotel, and these conditions are insane. So we're way out of the golden hour. It is still a little bit in the morning, but the sun has come up and it is like backlighting this scene with all this beautiful fog. And as you can see, we have a cabin there in front, and the mountains are really, really tall. So it didn't really make sense to be here just at sunrise, because at this time of year the sun still rises behind the mountains, so you don't get any color on them. However, now that the sun is so far up in the scene, all these trees and all this morning mist is getting backlit. It just looks absolutely insane. Others.
Epic.
Yeah, absolutely insane.
Wow,
Oh,
what a goodbye.
what a goodbye, that's for sure. So I'm just like frantically shooting with both my cameras, one with the 50-400 and one with the 16-35, because this is a big scene. There's so many details to pick out on the mountainsides, and they just keeps looking beautiful with autumn colors contrasting the blue sky and the blue shadows. And then of course the 16-35 to get the entire scene in, because these mountains are way like in your face. So yeah, the fog just continues. The little cabin here in front is like smoking, which looks really cool. And as you can see, it's just so atmospheric. Absolutely stunning. Here are some photos. Be sure to subscribe to my newsletter if you want any updates on when and where we announce workshops. Check out the description of the video for my educational content, and be sure to benefit from the discount code for the editing course. See you next time.